Welcome, everyone. Today we have the privilege of talking to Michelle. Michelle, I would love for you to just come on in and start with telling us a little bit about your background and initially what led you into transitioning, right? Because you were a baker slash stay-at-home mom, and then you dove right into multifamily. So if you want to just give us a little background on yourself, I'd love to start off that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Holandez. I am 37 years old, born and raised in the Philippines. I migrated here in the US in 2004, and I currently am the co-founder of our business. It's called Carmel Capital. So we've established that in July 2023. I am married to my best friend and business partner, Ian, and we have four amazing kids, Monica, Leanne, Isaac, and Dominic. So respectively, we have a 19, a 15, one's turning 13 next week, and my youngest is turning 10 next month. And yeah, so my background is in psychology and behavioral health. I work as a psychiatric technician since 2013, but I had a little bit of a mishap at work. I got injured, and so I had to take a 6-year gap. And during that time is when I became a stay-at-home mom. So I, got to spend a lot of time raising my kids, which is not very typical here in America. So I take that as a blessing in disguise. And at the same time, for us to have an additional stream of income, I opened my licensed home bakery. So I operate here at home and I only do it on the weekends. And that was what I was doing before we ventured into multifamily real estate.
Tell me a little bit more about being a psychiatric nurse. What is that like? Because I could imagine that's a very secondary traumatic experience because you are dealing with people who are going through something so tough.
Yeah, absolutely. So a psychiatric technician is it's like equal to a licensed vocational nurse, but we are more specialized in handling the mentally ill population. And so uh, before that, I took, like psychology, research psychology, and I became a psychiatric intern at Napa State Hospital. And I really liked it, just being able to work with patients. And so I said, okay, instead of going straight to master's degree, I, I went in for psychiatric technician program. And yeah, that's there's a lot of stories that I can share about this work. It's definitely not boring. You become really vigilant, and at the same time, you have to balance being vigilant and caring for your patients as well. So it is challenging. There's moments where, like I would question if this was the right job for me. But also, like I said, I had a 6-year gap, right? So I just returned to work again as a psychiatric technician, but in a different work environment. And so that work environment fit me and my values as a psychiatric technician. And so everything's good. I really love my job and I love the place where I work with. So it really depends on the culture of your work setting as well.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Myself, I've worked for nonprofits for the last 5 years now, and I've noticed that it really depends on the culture that your employment has kind of provided. And it's so important because you are doing hard work, right? We're working with individuals that are either marginalized or there's something going on. Like you said, you work with people who have mental health issues, and it's not an easy place to be. You have to be very empathetic. And I think it takes a special kind of person. So I can definitely see you in that role. But tell me that from doing that and now being in multifamily investing, how do you balance both worlds?
So the very first thing is I had to like really set my priorities. So when when we started multifamily, we, knew how much time it would take to learn it. And so I had to have a sit down, with Ian and with my 4 kids, because at least for me, the first few months of learning multifamily real estate is very crucial, because that's when you first start networking, but then at the same time, it's like you're very vulnerable. Like, we're very new, so we don't really know what we're doing. So like we really have to like focus on, doing things right. Although of course, if we make mistakes, that's fine, right? That's how we learn. But also I really wanted to make this work. So we had to like work on the schedule, on the routine. We had to have an open communication on who's going to do like the responsibilities at home, what the menu is going to be for the week, when is Monica picking up her siblings, do I have work for today, so it's a lot of open communication, understanding, what it'll take for us as a family to succeed. Because, if we succeed, then this is, going to be for them. And they see the value in it too. And yeah. So just a lot of open communication, and then what's really my priority, and then also sticking on a schedule, making sure that I stick to my time blocks, so I have enough time for both business, work, fun, faith, and of course family. But I'm still working on the one of the most important parts, which is taking the time for self-care. And I don't know if it's a mom thing. It's like we just, okay, I want to like sit down and just watch Netflix, but then, oh, okay, my kids need this. Oh, I have a call, with one of the new MFM students. Yeah. Oh, I have to like write, a page for my upcoming book. So it's like there's just, we're always on our feet, like we're, mothers, as mothers, we're strong, but we often forget about ourselves. So I'm still working on that.
No, I can absolutely agree. One of the biggest things that I myself agree, like, can wholeheartedly back you up on that sentiment is the moment you kind of want to take a moment for yourself, your brain starts telling you, like, oh, you have so much to do. We just had a moment recently where actually Eric's parents took Lumi for her birthday for like a good portion of the day. And I just sat there and was like, don't know. I don't know how to live right now. Like, what am I supposed to do? Usually she's here and I have like all these thoughts in my mind. I'm like, I have to do this, I have to do that. And the moment she's gone, I'm just like, okay, wait, what am I doing? What do I have to do? I don't know anymore. So I feel like we're just jugglers. Naturally, we're juggling everything. Aside from wanting to build a legacy for your children, what motivated you to pursue a career in real estate?
One of the reasons why I got into real estate is really because of my husband. When we started MFM, that was May, when we got into the informational meeting. And during that time, from the start of 2023 to May, I was kind of lost in a way. I still wasn't able to get back to work during that time. The doctor still didn't clear me to go back. And for some reason, like, I love making cakes, I love decorating, I love making desserts, but it's become kind of exhausting, and I'm passionate about it, but I realized that it's not my full-time job. This is not going to be my full-time job. And the more I was doing it, the more I was kind of losing my passion for it, you know? And if I started like operating the business as if, like, I need the income, I need the money. And so I'll take any orders. And so I realized that, and I was like, okay, if I love what I'm doing, but this is not my calling. If I'm making cakes depending on my mood and my level of energy and creativity, then this is probably not my calling, at least not yet. So I have to do something. But then I was like kind of lost because that's all I was doing. And then also at the same time, my kids, 6 years, right? So my kids were growing up right in front of my eyes. And, like more and more, they were able to do things on their own. They're becoming more independent. And I was like, so when is it gonna be soon that they don't like really need me anymore? What will happen if once they spread their wings and fly and Ian and I become like empty nesters? So I was like, man, like I was like really praying for an opportunity and for something for me to have like another purpose. And so I was praying. Ian was researching a lot about real estate, and he's been convincing me and said, no, I don't want to do that. It's too much money. He said, oh, how about fix and flips? Not too much money. We don't know anybody who can help us. Single family homes, he said. I'm like, nope, we got to do everything on our own. Well, how about commercial real estate? Well, I don't know how to partner with anybody. I can't do it. Like I want to do it, it sounds really good, but I just can't see like how will I don't see like the next few steps on how to do it. And then 2 months into trying to convince me, Ian finally asked the right question. And so he was like, hey, I saw this ad about this company, multifamily mindset, and they're having an informational meeting on like the next city. Can you go with me to see if this is something that I can do? So I was gonna go there and kind of scrutinize the meeting to see if is this something I would support him to do. And I was like, okay, if that's all you're gonna ask for me, then that's fine, right? It's just an hour. And so I sat down with him there in that meeting, and after that, I decided to sign up. I decided to sign up, and I was kind of excited, but I was still like, "Oh, is this it, right?" I'm not sure. And then we went to the 3-day event, and Tyler was actually the one speaking. And in fact, I told Ian, if Tyler wasn't the one speaking and DJ wasn't our strategist, I might have, skipped the opportunity. But sometimes God knows how to place the right people at the right time. He'll, let you hear the right words, so that you can take the next step and jump into that opportunity that you prayed for. So I think that's what happened to me.
Absolutely. I think Tyler has a way of speaking that just very captivating. He's an incredible, like, just person, and he radiates that. Me and Eric had the opportunity as well to have him be the person who spoke at our 3-day event, and I completely agree with you. It was him and Ryan at that time, and I don't think if I didn't hear their stories, I wouldn't have made the decision either. I feel like I have a very similar story to you where I really was just, I have no idea what I'm gonna do now. I lost, like you said, like I felt the same thing you felt, just lost. And Eric had been trying to find something for us that was going to propel our family further along. And I just couldn't see that vision. But I, to this day, say that that 3 event definitely changed my life. That set us on a different path, one that I was never, ever really like interested at all in doing. And so I can completely empathize with you where it was, you just needed the right person to speak with you. You need the right person to touch something in your mind that is just propels you into your like journey, into your path of success. And so with that, I wanted to ask you like what was like the biggest challenges that in your first year? Because I feel like the first year is so important because you're changing a lot.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I know like it seems like I'm having a lot of success, and it could be that like I'm minimizing it too, but I've gone through a lot of failures in the first year, like, but because of all those failures I have like this 1 2 3 successes that I'm just grateful that everyone is celebrating for, and yeah, it's just, but one of the biggest challenges that I faced, um, well, the first one would be, how we're always talking about the first deal, where I GP'd in 3 months. That was awesome, you know, and I have a great story because of that. But I don't often talk about my second deal, which is I'm going to tell you guys right now. On my second deal, it came after a month after the first deal was closed. And I was like, of course, coming from that, like I was like really confident. I'm ready to go to the next level. And then this deal was a 506C deal. So it's just accredited investors, which is, I now learned that it's very different. The conversations you have with these accredited investors are very different from sophisticated investors. And so I had the confidence. I do think that my skills didn't back up that confidence, and so I didn't raise enough. I raised some money. That's why I still talk about it, because I was able to raise some money, but I didn't raise enough to become a GP in the deal. And that really hurt because I felt like a failure, you know? And it's, I'm partnered with people who I have really felt like their family, and I feel like I let them down, you know? And I, so, and I think when I disappoint my parents, when I was a kid, okay, I start to like try to hide from them and not talk to them. And, like I was like doing that to my team. I told them like, I'm so sorry, I can't raise enough money. And then I was gone, and they were trying to reach out to me and stuff. And just because like I felt like their family, and like I disappointed them because they expected a lot from me. I guess I expected a lot from myself. In reality is that it's okay. It happens. Like I guess it's already in the expectation. Like expect the worst. Like you might not be able to raise any money at all. So I didn't have that mindset. I came in like super confident. Oh yeah, I can do something, I can raise this much. And I wasn't able to do that. But because, we felt like family, it was okay with them, but not okay with me. But anyway, going back to yeah, like I felt like I was a failure, and I kind of internalized that so much that I was looking at how much I raised, compared it to like the minimum amount it takes to GP on that deal, and made that kind of my only metric as my worth as a capital raiser. And that really hurt, and that really, like kind of brought me down. I was like crying and stuff, and it took me like 1 to 2 months to actually get off of it, get off of that funk. But the truth is, it's the second deal. I got to talk to Brady about it 3 months after that happened, and he was like, what are you talking about? Like my first 4 deals, I didn't raise enough money. And like right now, look at Brady Barker and what's his name, Black Cedar. They're hustling. They're so good. They have like achievements now. And so, you know, um, for me, I think I shouldn't have hidden. I shouldn't have, like stayed in the room and cried. I should have, you know, um, kept going and surrounded myself with like-minded people. When you're at your lowest, sometimes you just want to be on your own and sulk in your own suffering. But it's really important to reach out, because I found out I'm not the only one who's feeling that way, you know. And even like the people that really are successful in this business have experienced all that as well. So that was one of my biggest challenge, is just getting through all of that. And if you think about it, it's all about the mindset, you know? So just because you have that mindset coming in, like you're strong and all that, it doesn't mean that you're going to have that all the time. There's going to be times when life is going to test you. Is your mindset really that strong? Are you really ready for the next level? And so I realized like not yet, you know, but I'm choosing to grow from this. I'm not gonna stop.
The first time I got to meet you was that you were just so incredible and like being around people. Everybody like definitely like they gravitated to you. And I feel like you have such a wonderful energy on your own that maybe in that moment it kind of like you felt like you got crushed. But I hope that you never forget that you really do radiate like this amazing energy from yourself that I was just like, wow, I'm so happy I got to meet Michelle. Like I'm grateful for that experience. I can tell you right now, even just seeing like the way that you edit things and being so good at social media, like I'm always like highly impressed by you because I'm like, she has 4 kids. I'm over here struggling with one and I hate Instagram now, but you're doing it and I love seeing what you do. And to that note, you know, we know how important it is to be online, right? That online presence. Um, and I've seen what you've created. I truly think that you're like part-time content creator at this point, but how do you feel like that has contributed to your success or is contributing to your success?
Because I have a cake business, I dove into a lot of like studying on how to do social media creation. And I have a fairly good following on my cake page on Instagram and also on TikTok. The good thing about this business is that you don't have to have a big following. You don't have to do all of like these gimmicky stuff in order to get millions of views, of following and stuff. But for me, it became a way for me to introduce myself to people, and in this industry, like the more you know of this potential business partner, the more you are to trust them, and if you find something that you can relate to, then the more you want to get on deals with them, right? And so that's social media has kind of been my way to show people who I am, and that also like what I'm doing, what events I'm going to, um, that I want to educate and motivate people to, to do the same, just get out of the usual system and actually invest, in themselves and in their family. And I think because of that, like some people can relate to that and they know me better now. And I don't have to like meet people in person for them to say, oh, I know Michelle, she does this. This is her values. This is her goals. I want to partner with her, or I don't want to partner with her. And that's totally fine, right? It's just about attracting the right people. And social media can do that.
Absolutely. So what would you say, like what tips would you give someone that's brand new, an entrepreneur looking to leverage their social media and really grow in this industry?
Okay, I do have some good tips on that one. And I think, again, do not focus on the following. Don't do anything super gimmicky because, the more gimmicky your social media content is, at least for me, you become less trustworthy because you're getting people's attention in this way. But real estate is all about trust, right? So you want to have a following, big or small, that actually sees that you are worthy of that trust, you know. And if you're going to make content, make it educational, make it motivational. And if you want a little bit more engagement, you can make something a little bit controversial. Like for example, there's news that's saying, oh, multifamily is doing so great despite the inflation and incoming recession. But then there's also news that says, hey, multifamily is not doing so well, you know, and you can like put those two um, two together and say which one is telling the truth. What is your opinion about it? So that could be like an example of a way to engage people and have a healthy discussion. And then focus also on partnerships. Make sure you tag the people that that's in your social media content, and just be present on social media. It's like I'm pretty sure a lot of us are introverts. I'm not an introvert, I guess. I'm an ambivert. Sometimes I'm an introvert, but sometimes I'm an extrovert when I need to. But don't be shy. Just your first video is going to feel like it sucks, but then just keep going. Keep presenting yourself to, like who you really are, and discuss what matters to you the most. And just don't be posting too much. Like don't be on your audience faces all the time. I don't know how to say it, like don't be in their faces, because that would be like too annoying as well. Yeah, so yeah, maybe like post 3 times a week as a start, but focus on educational and motivational, and maybe some controversial. It's fine.
You can meet great people. There's forms of connection there. But I also am in a world where I'm trying to teach young kids social media, how to like go about doing it the right way, that I think sometimes I have like a love and hate relationship with it now. But to go into a little bit backtracking back to you being a mother of four, a wife, you're an entrepreneur, right? Like having your business. Now going back to work, can you share any daily routines or habits that really help you stay organized and focused to meet your goals?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing is using a time block. And I believe I learned this from Amanda. She's one of the coaches in MFM. Amanda, right? Like the one who talked about time management. I'm very thankful because when I came in MFM, she did this webinar about time management 2 months of me being in the program. And so that kind of helped me a lot. So she talked a lot about time block, and that's basically like taking, like let's say a weekly schedule, right? And then you put the time by the hour. So let's say you wake up at 5 a.m. and then put all of the time there. So 5 a.m., 6 a.m., all the way up to let's say 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. when you sleep, and then just block the time of like when do you actually go to work or your other commitments and stuff, and then put in that time block what is the schedule for like the MFM webinars, the coaching calls. When do you, on Saturdays, do you like usually go out with friends? Because it'll show you a visual of like those empty squares where you can possibly do more things. Sometimes people will always say, I don't have time for anything. But I'm pretty sure people have more time than they actually think they have. Yeah, than they actually think they have. They just have to like really prioritize, and sometimes seeing it visually, it'll make them realize that. So that's what I did, and so that also kind of organized my time. So now, oh, I didn't know I have time from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So when I was very active with my cake business, I spent an hour a day preparing for the orders on the weekends. So that would be a good example on that. So definitely dive into the time block. I can share it, like a screenshot of it for everyone to see. And then the second one would be I have a morning routine. I strictly follow Miracle Morning, the savers. So, oh, and we were there at New York, right? When we heard Hal Elrod speak. Yeah, so yeah, definitely. If you have a chance, download the app, read the book, and kind of cater that Savers Miracle Morning routine, to how it'll work with your schedule. And then when the kids are at school, that's when I do my business, or that's when I work. The other thing is that when I went back to work, I made sure that I have a work where I can fully control my schedule. So, and not all types of careers have this option. So as a psychiatric technician, I was able to get like a per diem job. So I can work full time, but like I can schedule around my business. The business is the priority, family is the priority. Work is more like, okay, secondary, so um yeah, that's how I wanted my work to be, you know. And what else? And then at night, whatever you want to do the next day, make a list of it. So do it the night before, and it'll set you up to, so you can become more productive the next day. My miracle morning could be different with yours. I know some people who do like 5 minutes of praying, 5 minutes of writing, 15 minutes of reading. Some do it like in an hour. So it really depends. So you do it in a way that works for your schedule. Make it easy. Make it easy for you as well. So that's actually one of the laws of habit forming that's discussed in Atomic Habits is you make it easy for you. So that way you can do it every day. And if it takes you only 10 minutes, then do it. And then when you start having more time, then, but yeah, you have to do it every day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Michelle, for that. So you told me before that your daughter kind of like helps you out a little bit. She's your manager at home. So how do you involve your family in your business? And what role do you see them playing in your success?
Yes. So this is one of the details that I actually don't often talk about. But my 19-year-old Monica is actually part of the company. When we did the 3-day event, yeah, she was there. She was there with us. So it was me, Ian, and her on the 3-day event, and she was interested. So when we were forming the LLC, she was part. So we have all equal shares in the company. But then she got more interested in marketing. So I told her, okay, if that's what you want to focus on, then just finish your school first. And so she hopefully, she promised that she was going to contribute to the company through marketing and stuff. But I just want her to take her time, you know. One of the things that she's been doing though is because she's very active also on social media. So she would always share all of my posts and she would share it, like it, comment on it. She knows the algorithm, like how to gain more, yeah, more followers or how to get more views. So she's like, okay, I'm in it, mom. Yeah. So those are like one of the like small ways, but it means a lot to me, especially in this generation right now. It's kind of hard to have children, to have like that kind of relationship with your children, And so we always talk like we are sisters, and so that's how we've always been, I guess. So well, but with my husband, um he wanted to take on another role. So we both wanted to do underwriting first. I wanted to do capital raising after that when I found out that I just can't stop talking and I want to meet more people. So I said, okay, I'll do capital raising. But I asked him, so what do you want to do in this business? And he said, I don't know. And for how many months, that's all he was telling me, like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And I was like, well, this isn't gonna this isn't gonna work. Like you need to take on a role too, right? So that we can build the business faster. But then, we had a talk with somebody close to the family, and we realized that that's not the only role that he could play. And I didn't know that he's been playing this very important role since the beginning. And that is, Ian is the visionary between the two of us. And I am the one that executes. But, he planted that idea, and I'm the one doing it now, right? And so he's the one who advises me, if I have difficult decisions to make. He lays out everything on the table so I can make the best decision. At the same time, he also is the main breadwinner of the family. And so he's making sure that I don't have to worry about, the bills and the mortgage and all that stuff. So he put a lot he took a lot off my plate. That way, I'll only worry about building the business. So which is such a big thing because, man, like imagine if I have to do all of that. I don't think I'll have the time to learn multifamily. I'll have the time to network. I'll have, you know, the financial means to be able to travel and go to all these conferences. So I'm really, really grateful that he's taken on that role. And then with my kids, my other kids, well, they're just, they're my main cheerleaders. We actually talk about business and real estate over dinner, when we're having a meal. And it's amazing. I don't know if they can really understand it, but they're just really supportive. Like, hey, mom, like, yes, you can do this. And also, they always go with me in bookstores as well, because you know how I love to read, and they're reading the same books I read as well. So yeah, that's the role.
No, that's amazing. They're going to learn so much at such a young age, and just even the value of growing in self-development, because a lot of the books that we read in this journey are about self-discovery, self-development, and really getting to know yourself in a depth so that you can really exude um, your morals and your trustworthiness and all that. And it creates I think, a whole like rounded, well person. So even, I mean, most of us didn't have that education starting, right? Until we got into MFM or until we found multifamily. And your kids kind of have like a jump start. So that's amazing. And I love that your daughter, she's interested in marketing. That's such a great career path to take, but it is also very valuable because I mean, what if not a brand, right? Like you have to have your brand, and that's going to showcase who you are to your audience and to everyone around you. Um, but even more so, like your partner just really being that support system to help you and kind of just, like you said, like break everything down and show you all these options so that it is an easier decision for you to make. Um, that's unmatched, right? When you have a partner that can do that for you, that's an unmatched energy that really cultivates that culture within your own household that is going to propel you to success. Um, and so, with that being said, I know that you have, a lot of ventures that you are starting, right? You started with Kim McCall, Mel. I love Mel. I'm gonna give him a little shout out, but I love Mel. Like he's just the best. With Equity Exchange, right? And I know I'm missing someone's name right now, but
Winston is the our newest host. Yeah.
yes. And so tell us a little bit about this venture and what is Equity Exchange for you guys? Like what does it mean?
Yes, so this equity exchange meetup is actually an idea. It was formed and solidified by Kim McCall. And I think it stems from, she had like a lot of requests from students if um, somehow they can have this opportunity to network or have a webinar on the weekends. So Kim has been working on that for the longest time, but I guess when I started talking to her, like, hey, like let's form some kind of partnership. And that's when she like, oh, you want to start a meetup? And I was like, yes, let's do it. Yeah, let's find some other hosts too. And so that's when we got Mel Fenner. And originally it was Hunter, but in the end he had to, like what do you call this? He had like religious commitments that I guess he can't do Saturdays and stuff. So Winston is our new host. But yeah, the vision here is to have, students who are not available on the weekdays because they have, a 9 to 5 job and they can't get into these networking events and webinars, to have that opportunity, to attend one on a weekend. And so that's why we have like multiple speakers, they can just get to be on a breakout room on the topic of their choice. So like, for example, one is coming up on Saturday, and we have speakers who's going to talk about bookkeeping, crowdfunding, and customer relations management portal. So these are all valuable in our business, and so they can choose which one they want to be in, and then after that, they can do network also with people. So it's like a 1.5 hour webinar. um, I am thinking it would be better though if it's longer, like make it 2 hours, but we'll see. We'll see. We're just really excited about this. It's growing slowly right now, but hopefully, like as time goes by, then we get to help more students, and we, get to have more speakers, who's willing to spend their time on the early Saturday. It's quite early. It's 10 a.m. EST. Here in California, it's 7 a.m. And we have a lot of people from Hawaii that are complaining because it's like 4 a.m. on their time. So yeah, so we're like, we're sorry. We were trying to find, like a middle ground on the time, but that's the one that works the best. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on, and it's just really nice to be able to be a part of something where you can like give back and help. So yeah, but I love it. I look forward to it every month.
No, I love that. I went to your first one, and I heard someone say that they spent like 10 minutes in each room, and I was like, why didn't I think of that? I only stayed in one room. I should have tried to like jump rooms.
Yeah,
Um,
you have the freedom to do that too. Yeah.
so that's gonna be my next thing at the next one. So I will definitely be there. Um,
Yes.
just I know we're coming up to our little kind of like the end here. So
Okay.
one final piece of advice that you would like to share with everyone here, on their own journey, on their own journeys. My tongue got tied. But one last piece of advice that you could give everyone.
Is it okay if I give two?
Absolutely.
So the first one would be, and I don't know if somebody has already coined this, most probably, but I've thought of it. I used to run a lot before I got injured, but I was thinking about this, and I have something called what I call like a marathon mindset. So it's basically, like we all have different starting points. And so if you think about it, like you sign up for a marathon, right? And you have like this big crowd on the starting line. And some of them have trained all their lives, and some are still in the middle of it. They just want to see where they're at, if they can make it in a few hours. And there's some who's just doing it for fun. I know some people who never trained and they just go for it. The next day they take a lot of ibuprofen, but oh my gosh, like there's just a lot. There's just in this crowd, there's people who have different trainings, different experiences, motivations, and goals. So some of them are going to finish the marathon in 2 hours. They're going to qualify for the Boston Marathon, right? Some of them are going to do it in 4 hours, some 5.5, some, they're probably already closing, but they're still on their way to the finish line. And so it's all just different people. So we start in the same, in different starting points, but we end up in the same finish line. And so if you think about it, like coming into this network, there's a lot of people who have experience in real estate already. And there's some like myself who had zero real estate experience. And like we're aiming for the same finish line. And so they're probably gonna get there faster. That's fine. That's their journey. I'm going to focus on my journey. And I know that as long as I'm laser focused and I'm doing things right, I'm not hurting anybody in the process. And I just want the best for myself and for everyone, while I'm on this journey, I know I'll get to that finish line eventually. So that's my first lesson. But my second one is, I love to read books, and I think that these people are gonna give you guys a lot better lessons than myself. So I'm gonna give you guys a list of books that really helped me. Okay, so this is the first one. Oh, and they didn't pay me to do this. It's not an advertisement. So this is the first one. It's called Inner Work by Matt and Ash. And then a lot of people love Atomic Habits, but this is the one that really changed my mindset about habit. It's The Power of Habit by Charles. I'm not sure how to say his last name. Duhigg. This is very powerful. It's very powerful. Um, Atomic Habits is going to tell you the hows. This is going to really motivate you, like how it's really gonna change people's lives. This is amazing. Third one is Speed of Trust, because trust is super, super important in this industry. And this is a thick book, but it simplifies you how simple it is to gain people's trust, but also that it's the most difficult thing to do. So, but this is gold. And I'm gonna put these two because Edmund Chen told me to read this at least 3 times, both of them in 1 week. So I don't know how, but that's what I did, and for some reason it really helped me. So Start With Why, Simon Sinek, and Grit by Angela Duckworth. So yeah. So these people are so much smarter than me. They have more experience, and I learn a lot from them. And so if you guys read these books, I hope you learn a lot from them too.
We have some books to buy.
That
Yeah.
we do.
We have some books to buy. All right, Michelle, thank you so much. Last thing, where can our listeners find you?
Yes. So
And my favorite question of all is, how has multifamily investing changed your life?
oh man, it just changed my life in a lot of ways. Like I just didn't think I'd be able to co-own a property, like in my life. And now I have, I've participated in 3 deals, and it hasn't just changed my life, but my kids' life as well, because now my children are watching me. And so I want them to learn from my experiences as well. And hopefully they take the successes and apply them so that they can succeed on their own journeys as well. And my failures, I hope that they take notes of that as well, so they can learn from that as well. So it's not just about the money, it's about who you're gonna become, in this journey. And so I'm just I look forward to that. Hopefully, I become a lot more than than what I am right now. I guess that's the end goal, right? Is to reach your full potential. It could be through real estate, or it could also be in the next opportunities in the way. But I'm just more excited with life right now because of the things that I've learned these past 10, 11 months. And multifamily was the one that was the opportunity that started it off for me. And you guys can find me on Instagram. My IG handle is Her Real Estate Journey. You can also email me, team@mcmfcapital.com, or you can just text or call me. My phone number is 707-563-4333. And yeah, I'd love to have a chat.
Wow, thank you so much, Michelle. I'm excited to be a part of this journey and watch you flourish and grow, because I absolutely know that you will. Again, meeting you in person, you just radiate something within yourself that I truly believe is just pure. And I'm happy that I got to meet you in person, and that I will continue to be able to meet you hopefully in other networking events as the years go on. But I'm excited for your journey, and I'm excited to see you succeed. I definitely know that you will.
Thank you so much. Well, the pleasure is all mine. And I just wanted to say, Jahaira, that I feel the same way about you. I really do. So when I first met you, I was like, she's my girl, come here. You know, I think we had a natural connection. And it's not just because we're both moms, but because we love what we do. And, you know, we hope for the best for everyone. And so, yeah. I'm glad to be your friend. I'm really glad to have met you here.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. I feel full. My heart feels full.
Me too.
But everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us. Like always, we are just here to provide value to people. And if you or anyone wants to reach out to us, please reach out. We're always open for conversations. And come back in 2 weeks and see who else comes on our show. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.